y'all? Welcome back, week 2. This is Sibling Gibberish for short. I'm Jib, that's Sib, my left, over there. What's up? How you doing?
Hi, Jib.
Hi, Jib.
Been?
Hi, Sib. Where you been? I've been looking for you since last week.
I just been around over yonder.
You've been yeah.
I've been yibbing and yabbing.
I've been yibbing and yabbing and a sibbing and yibbing, and now we can sib jib together. You're doing good on clarinet again this week, I'm telling you.
Oh, I know. I got them ivory keys, man.
You got them ivory keys, and I tell you what, here, as our theme song comes to a close, something very fitting for tonight's episode, something absolutely super fitting would be to tell a lot of jokes. So tell me right now, do you have a good joke to tell today?
Oh, you didn't prepare me for no joke.
You can do a joke.
Oh, no. I can't.
I
can't.
Why don't you tell me?
I simply can't.
Why don't you tell me a funny joke now? I'll tell you a joke.
One
time I walked into a bar and there was a horse.
Wow.
One time I was in a bar with my friend and I said, "Hey, have you met Ted?"
Is Ted the horse?
He's the horse. Now, little do you know, since you're out of the loop on I was playing sitcom laugh tracks behind my jokes. Because today's episode is about sitcom
I just heard silence. I was like, what are we doing?
I'm just here to sib. he's the one jibbing.
I was just told to sib.
I
didn't prepare nothing else.
I didn't prepare that. So before we get into that, though, what have you been into this week? We introduced ourselves last week, so we're going to use this part of the show to just discuss how our week has been and what we've been into.
Well, my week's been pretty shitty, but
that's good.
It's my 3-day weekend, so not too bad. I've been reading a lot, watching One Piece,
woohoo,
and just trying to adult without wanting to jump off of a bridge.
Sometimes that is the hardest part of adulting.
How's your week been?
Well, my week, I have done nothing but be at work, which has exhausted me. And when I haven't been at work, I've either been streaming, follow me on Twitch, Solos TV, and I've been playing World of Warcraft a lot lately.
You haven't played that in a long time.
I know, but I've been playing it a lot, and I'm having fun. Getting ready to play the new Pokemon game coming out tomorrow at the time of this recording. Probably already out if you're listening to this, since we have no viewers in our chat right now. I'm like, what's it called when you like send a passive aggressive tweet without tagging somebody? Is it called like a shadow tweet or something, or like subtweet?
No, a subtweet. Maybe it is subtweet.
I don't know.
That is a term. I just don't know exactly what it means.
Yeah, who knows? Who cares?
I literally don't know any lingo past when I left high school.
I don't know lingo past LOL and WTF.
Amen.
It's better to go WTF. I love it when old people do that. They're like, I love some of the old people lingo. They're like, "Hey, can I get a Whopper burger with no tomato? Please don't put no tomato on it." And it's like,
you're just imitating our mom.
Can I get some potato fries, please? No sweet potato fries. Man, we don't have sweet potato fries at Burger King.
And then at the end of the order to be like, "Now, did you get that I didn't want no pickles on that Whopper burger?"
I'm allergic.
Yes, ma'am.
She lies every time. I'm allergic. She don't want no We get messed up a lot.
Remember when she would order, our cousin is allergic to cheese, like deathly allergic, and she would order pizzas growing up, and she would literally be like, "You cannot put cheese on this pizza. If you put cheese on this pizza, my 12-year-old nephew will die."
He will die, and blood will be...
said it like 4 times.
The blood will be on your hands as well.
And you will have to go to bed every night knowing that you killed a 12-year-old boy.
Are you willing to live with that? The answer is yes, because they're evil corporations that want nothing but your money.
And your blood, apparently.
And your blood. It's what fuels the pizza sauce. Have you seen that
actually the pizza sauce.
that TikTok video where they're like, this is how they made Little Caesar sauce. And it looks like super gross. And people go in there and they're like, they mixing the water and the seasoning. It's not gross. And I'm like, okay, even though you're right, it is gross. It's Little Caesar.
It's still gross. It doesn't matter how they make it. It's still gross.
I had a big argument on stream the other night about how bad Little Caesar sucks. But it doesn't matter.
Did someone say it didn't suck?
They said it was okay. And I was like, wrong. You are stupid, wrong, and not okay in the head. Chat agreed with me. No, they didn't. My chat never agrees with me. I could say the most obvious thing in the world. My chat wouldn't agree with me. Just to be mean. All right. Today's episode. Last week, actually, we need to recap. Last week, we did a 5 against 5 versus of fast food breakfasts. We had a winner. Ding, ding, ding. We polled it on Twitter. We're a small podcast, so we only had 4 votes. But it was a
Did we have 4?
Yeah, it was a 3-1 domination.
Oh shit! I thought it was only 3 votes. I didn't think I lost that bad.
And hey, have you ever heard of horror?
Horror?
Horror. Have you ever heard of horror?
No.
Hardy's nuts. I won last week, baby. Woo!
I knew exactly where that was going as soon as you started that.
Hardy's won. Y'all have culture taste and a good breakfast.
Y'all are greasy and unemployed.
No, my hair is
That's
greasy.
all I gotta say.
I can say that. Woke up from a nap, came up here for this. Hardy's won because it is better. I actually got mad.
I went to Taco Bell because I was thinking about our podcast, and I was like, I have to eat Taco Bell.
Oh, really? I ate Burger King.
Hopefully I don't poop on stream.
You will. Absolutely. Well, today's topic is top 5 sitcom side characters, because doing top 5 sitcoms would be boring. Side characters are what make the sitcom interesting. A sitcom is nothing without a premise and just a main character. The side characters make it up, and sometimes, in this case, overshadow the main character. In almost all the cases in my list, actually.
So the only rules that we really had were that it couldn't be the title main character, and in the case of Friends, it couldn't be any of the 6 because one of them isn't really the main character.
What's your rule with The Office?
See, spoiler alert, didn't include anyone from The Office because I was confused by that. But I would think Michael Scott would be the main character, and that everyone else is fair game.
Okay, good.
I know. I was surprised myself, but I like my list, so I'm happy with it.
I think you're just trying to be different. I don't think your list is genuine, from what I hear.
My list is very genuine. All right, so we need to also write what show they're from.
Oh, do we?
Yeah, just in case people don't know.
Well, I mean, we'll talk about it.
Because you won't know my first one.
It's from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh my god, how did you know?
I don't know.
It really is.
Sweet! Are you ready? Alright, guys, so how the show goes, we have whiteboards, and we will reveal our answers. Shh. We will reveal our answers at the same time to each other and the world for them to see our opinions. I'm wearing a very small, short shirt right now, so excuse me for picking at it a lot. Alright, are you ready?
Yeah.
Alright, number 5. Allow the gibberish to begin in 3, 2, 1. Blip.
I knew. See,
Amy,
I know who Barney was an honorable mention.
I know who Amy is. Sandy X.
Have you?
Yeah, I've watched a few episodes of Brooklyn. Is she the gothic one?
No, that is Rosa.
Is she the one that gets with the main character?
Yes.
Yeah, I do love her. She's cool.
You can go first.
Well, How I Met Your Mother used to be my favorite show of all time until the ending sucked so bad. And literally 90% of why it was my favorite show was Barney Stinson. He's awesome. He's hilarious. Suit up. He's quotable. He's iconic. And him and Robin's romance arc was actually inspirational and awesome until they, spoiler alert, killed it like they did the show.
Yeah.
So if you watch that show up to the last episode and leave it out, pretty good show.
Pretty good. They have like an alternate ending where
but
none of that stuff happens.
But this still happens to Barney.
Oh, that's true. See, because my favorite character in How I Met Your Mother is actually Marshall.
Marshall's the close one.
He almost made my list, but How I Met Your Mother, that ending and everything that they did really put a bad taste in my mouth about the whole show.
Yep.
Like, ever since I watched the finale, I have not watched a rerun of How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, me
Like,
neither.
I just can't get into it anymore. So I couldn't even though I love Marshall, I couldn't put him on my top 5.
I
He's
couldn't.
definitely in my top 10.
I mean, I had a bad time not putting something from How I Met Your Mother on there.
You were really into it for a long time.
I mean, it was I loved it. It was my Friends from our brother loves Friends, and I absolutely loved it. I mean, it's still great.
Yeah.
If you leave out the ending, but
objectively, yeah, it's still a really good show.
Absolutely, the characters are great and they mix well together.
I just remember how pissed off I was that night, and it just put a bad taste in my mouth for the whole
made my
thing.
current girlfriend really mad at me. I was in high school and I had my little high school sweetheart, and she got real mad at me because I was so emotional over the How I Met Your Mother ending. That was the first red flag in our relationship. It ended pretty soon after that. Not by my hand, though.
First red flag.
I was like, let me feel this. Let me experience this pain.
I'm a man. I'm supposed to have emotions.
I'm a man. I can feel pain. It's not abnormal. All right, but what about Amy from Sonic X?
From Sonic X.
Yeah.
Okay, so Amy is just so iconic to me. Like, she's so inspirational because she's like so type A, but at the same time, she's not like you know how a lot of sitcoms, they portray type A people as never having fun, always a stickler. I feel like she does a good balance of being the stick in the mud, but also like having fun and being a part of the comic relief. And I just think she's a really well-rounded character, and all of her storylines are always my favorite.
I need to watch that show. There's no reason.
It's so good.
There's no reason I haven't watched it.
I haven't watched the last either 1 or 2 seasons.
Oh yeah.
But I just love all the characters. Like, she's my favorite, but I could have put any of them in my top 5 probably.
Oh, the main character is awesome. That episode of New Girl.
Yeah, I love Andy Samberg.
He's cool. He's pretty funny.
I love him.
All right. Well, as normal, there's not too much to say about number 5. The arguing, which I don't know if we'll argue too much tonight. You might be right, because these opinions. Well, you might question this next one for me, because this one is super random.
Mine's really random.
You're gonna have no idea who this is.
Oh, I won't.
No.
See, you'll know who mine is, but it's really random.
All right, are you ready? Number 4.
See, I think this. Oh, have you written it already? Shit, hold on.
Yeah, I'm quick.
I was talking.
I am Speed. Ka-chow!
Shut. If you quote Cars one more time,
you leave me alone. At least
then you're gonna need a new podcast.
Get her done.
Okay.
I am of British intelligence. What about you? My name's Tom Raider. Average intelligence. That is actually like, college students should study how funny that is if they're wanting to be a comedian. That is perfect. Are you ready?
Yes. Anything to stop talking about Cars.
Ready? 3.
Yes.
Number 4. 3, 2, 1. Ba-bam. Spencer.
I know Sean.
Spencer
from iCarly.
I picked Sean from Good Place. You're actually going to the bad place. He's the guy who plays that in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, the guy's partner.
Oh,
he is that guy.
He's your favorite?
Yes.
In the Good Place?
No, he's not my favorite, but I couldn't pick any of the main characters.
Oh, you consider the 4 to be the main characters?
The 4.
See, I would almost just think Eleanor was the only main character.
No. You haven't finished the show.
Well, see, I haven't watched the last season.
They're all so important. Them and Janet.
Okay.
Janet would have probably been it.
I was gonna say, why did you not pick Janet? Because I love Janet.
Those crazy kids.
Those crazy kids.
Those characters aside, Sean, he's got the same attitude, and he's like, you can go to
his delivery.
You can go to the bad place with everyone who's been bad, like PewDiePie. It's so good. His delivery, he's like, I really hate you, Eleanor. It's so good. He's so fun. So stupid and funny. That guy's voice alone, man. I need to watch that show again. I just finished it.
I like him in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Not even a year ago, and I already want to finish it again. You need to finish that show.
I need to finish that last season.
The ending is really kind of like,
really good in a good way or a bad way.
It's good and sad. Very sad.
I hate sad endings.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Well, it's not too long of a show, so it's not like I had like 10 years of build up to bullshit.
That's true. That is very true.
So it's like a 5-season show, like a good statement. The best thing about The Good Place is that it does not overstay its welcome, and it tells a story and gets in and out. And it's so weird because the story arcs is like, how can it get any more messed up than this? What kind of hijinks are they going to get into next? How does it get worse than this? It always does.
I kind of thought that after the first season.
Yeah.
I was like, well, then now what are we going to do?
Well, now what? And you watch next season, you're like, well, now what? Next season, you're like, well, what's going on? Whoever wrote that show is very unique and very talented.
Very good.
Very, very good. All right.
So
Spencer Shay.
Did you really not put Spencer on your list?
I do love Spencer Shay. I honestly was not thinking about any Nickelodeon sitcoms during this.
I was blanking when I was making my list, so I actually had to Google sitcoms, and I saw like Drake and Josh and iCarly, and I was like, it's Spencer. He's so fucking hilarious.
Spencer is actually, but is he not a main character though?
No, it's Carly.
Well, Carly,
Sam, and Freddie.
And Spencer.
And no.
I mean, Spencer in the new iCarly is definitely a main character.
Yeah, but I haven't watched the new iCarly.
It's super good. I need to catch up on it.
If you don't want to count Spencer, I can change it out with Crazy Steve from Drake and Josh.
You could do
really
Gibby.
Anything that this actor does.
Yeah, he's very talented.
He's fucking hilarious. I literally, when I got home tonight, was watching like best of moments for all of my top 5s, and I think I laughed the loudest during the Spencer one.
Yeah. What you got there? Smoothie.
Smoothie. And like him just setting everything on fire, and just like he's so my sense of humor, because my like sense of humor is such like just stupidity. Really just stupid nonsense. I love it. Like he just cracks me up, but he also is like that strong father figure almost, but in a really
stupid way,
ridiculous and crazy way. But when he has to step up, he does.
He's very. I love Spencer. Actually, he'd probably be number 6 on my list.
He's a good pick.
I had to put Sean, I guess, but Spencer, like iCarly is so good because it has aged so much. I cracked us up as kids and would equally probably, maybe a little less, but crack us up now. It's not aged. That and like Drake and Josh, those two shows have aged so well. Drake and Josh has not aged perfectly for some reasons, but
that's not the show.
That's true. The show,
even if the actors don't age well, that's not the show.
Yeah, that's true. The show themselves have actually aged because the humor in that is actually decently good.
Isn't the guy who wrote that like a monster?
Yeah, that's super monster. And most of the reason that the jokes have aged well for adults is because he wrote extremely inappropriate scripting for teenage girls. So he is probably
it was hilarious.
Well, I mean, that's hard to say. But he's a monster, but he's done working on shows.
But yeah.
Dan Schneider, if you're listening to this, Dan Schneider, Soloist TV.
Coming for Sib Jib does not support Dan Schneider.
Sib Jib does not support Dan Schneider at all. But damn, is iCarly good. But he's like the producer or something. He's not the only one responsible. That's one thing that makes me mad about all these things. Like if one person evolves bad, they're like, we can't support this. Dan Schneider's on it. It's like, well, what about all the other people who don't suck?
Who worked really hard.
Yeah.
And that's what like Roseanne did. Like Roseanne was problematic, so they got rid of her, but made a new show so that all the other people who have worked so hard can like keep their jobs and continue creating and stuff.
I guess so. That was crazy. They should have never rebooted Roseanne. She's too much of a wild card. They should have just let her be a retired old crazy lady.
And just started with the show that it is now.
Getting her back in the spotlight was not good. I say it was not good. But yeah, I don't have anything else to say about The Good Place. I can mostly talk good about The Good Place and said it more than I can Sean. Watch The Good Place. It is insane. It is hilarious. It has my favorite character in that entire show. I keep dropping my marker. I don't remember off the top of my head. What's the main guy?
The Asian guy?
No, well, that's Jason. Jason's my funny main character I love. But the other guy, what's his name again? He's just Cheaty.
He's just I thought
genuinely...
you meant the
Oh no.
What's that guy's name?
I'm forgetting right now.
I know, I blanked.
He's actually probably the best. It's such a good show you can't even pick the best character.
Yeah. It has a really good cast.
Watch it. It's very well written. Very well written.
I feel like you're gonna call bullshit on my number 3 pick, but it's when we said side characters, this was actually the first person to pop in my head, and you're not gonna believe me.
Okay, I'm ready. Are you ready?
You ready?
All right. 3, 2, 1. Baboom.
I knew you were gonna have Andy on there.
Of course, he's my favorite character from The Office, which is one of my favorite shows ever. Eric Matthews from Boy Meets World.
Yes.
You like him better than Mr. Feeney?
Okay.
Feeney!
Listen.
Feeney! Feeney!
See, when we were talking before we started recording, and I said there was one show that I could not, like, I was having a really hard time between two. It was Eric and Mr. Feeney. Mr. Feeney I love because he is, like, such a special character just in TV history. But Eric just, every time, like, just looking at him tickles me.
Is Eric his brother? I don't remember the show at all.
Yeah, that's the older brother.
All I remember
the one that goes, Feeney!
Feeney! Oh, that makes him the best. Can you really like Mr. Feeney better for a joke Eric makes?
But see, Mr. Feeney's just like a precious character.
Oh, yeah.
And an important character. But I was watching the compilation, and I've forgotten about, there's a part where he dresses like a hobo, and he, throws all his stuff away, and makes this huge manifesto, and he looks crazy. And they were like, "What are you doing, Eric?" He goes, "I am not Eric. I am plays with squirrel." And he's just, like, he's so funny. And, like, his, just the way he delivers lines makes them much funnier than what the lines actually are. I wish he were a bigger actor now. He went past the 2000s.
I might like that show. I don't remember any episode of it. I need to
I watched it all the time.
What was the girl's name again?
Topanga?
Yeah. Oh, I remember that. That's such a ridiculous name. I've never met another.
Where did you come up with that?
I've never met another Topanga in my life. Topanga. What's your name?
When that show came out, people started naming their kids Topanga, though.
Topanga's got a set of Topangas. Like, I couldn't imagine naming a kid Topanga. Tachongus. I don't know. Just don't name your kid Topanga. It's a weird name. Anyway, I need to watch that show because Eric would probably be my favorite character too. Eric Matthews.
He would be your favorite character, and I think you would like it a lot better now than you. Because I don't think in the time that it was coming out, you would have liked it as much.
I didn't like it. I liked cartoons. I didn't like real people shows.
Sorry, go ahead.
When I was a really little kid, I remember just asking our aunt, when she was watching like a live action movie, and I asked her what kind of color they used to draw this cartoon. What kind of crayon they used. Sorry, crayon. How do you... Crayon. No, it's a crayon. You eat a crayon.
It's a crayon.
Wait, I said you eat a crayon. No, don't eat crayons. I actually did that when I was a kid.
They're non-toxic, so you technically can.
Yeah, they actually tasted good too. Very chalky. They get rid of heartburn. But
what I was gonna say is, Boy Meets World's one of those shows too that gets better as it goes, like it gets its footing. Because when they're like younger, it's good still, but it's when they're like teenagers and Eric's in college, and then eventually Corey gets to college, that it really like gets a lot better.
Gets like to be an adult show instead of a Disney Channel show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, The Office is a show I'm sure you've never heard of. It's kind of a small like indie show. It's underground.
Really, in the Office community, you have a pretty hot take, though.
No, I know. It's very controversial that Andy is the best character, but that's because in the Office community, no one has a sense of humor. Everyone either likes just romance up front, or they don't have a sense of humor, and they think Dwight's actually a good character when he's one of the most annoying, insufferable characters. Andy has heart. He loves himself a lot. But he loves everyone in that office as much as he does. What people don't know is that his writing in the last season is so bad because he did The Hangover, and they did an Office way of writing his character off for while he was working on The Hangover. And the Office way of doing that is making him pull a Michael Scott, doing something Michael Scott would do, but no one ever hated Michael Scott for doing that stuff. Everyone just hated Andy for doing that stuff. Support for Andy. He had a great heartfelt ending. He got to work at his dream college, not doing what he wanted, but he had one of the best lines. And it literally, I graduated college, and this line, you never know you're in the good old days until you're out of them. That hit home because I'm out of the good old days. I miss my college friends a lot. And I could have been working on content in my dorm, and I never did, especially when I lived alone. I miss my friends, being able to see them. You never know. Andy hits home. He is such a heartfelt character, and he's hands down the funniest one. And just like Eric, it's actually pretty good lining up, where he goes, Feeney! I'll always laugh when he goes, Tuna! Big Tuna!
I forgot about that.
What's up, Tuna? I don't think he ever calls him Jim. He's always like, Dwight?
Tuna.
Dwight? Pam? Tuna? It's so good.
I did forget about that. That is funny. And I do think you make a good point, because I believe that too, is that if Michael Scott had the same lines the last season as Andy did, he wouldn't have gotten any hate.
Not at all.
It's just the
And
fact
Michael
that
Scott,
Andy was delivering them.
Michael Scott's a great character too. And everyone acts like everybody in the office is a saint and that Andy is bad for doing that. Every character in the office does incredibly selfish things. Dwight is the most selfish character in that show. He has a really good arc in the last season why everyone loves him. But if you watch that show, he is a dick.
Yeah. And see, that's why none of the Office characters made my list, because The Office is one of my favorite sitcoms. And I was thinking about it and going to make my list, and I was like, I love The Office
for Michael Scott.
For the plot and the comedy of it and stuff, but I can't honestly say there's one character that is like my favorite. Yeah. Like, I love this character so much.
Absolutely.
Because, like you said, a lot of them are selfish and cringy and just like, and it works in the context of the show and makes the show funny.
Absolutely.
But individually as characters, I don't think that there's any of them that are my favorite.
I think Andy is easily my favorite, but I think the best character is Michael Scott.
Right. If you had to pick one, it's definitely him.
The thing I'll always argue with my mother on is that she hates Michael Scott. And
oh yeah, she does.
She hates him for all of the wrong reasons. And it makes me so freaking mad. Like,
she has an unnecessary hatred for Steve Carell. So she just hated him before she even watched the show.
Which, yeah, I think that's it. And she's like, he's selfish. And I'm like, Mom, you love Dwight.
Everyone's selfish.
This whole show, no one in this show was a good person except Jim. Like,
but even Jim has his moments.
Yeah,
too.
In the last season. The writing, everyone hates Andy for the last season, but the last season
writing in the last season was terrible.
It wasn't terrible, but it was not good.
I didn't really care for it, honestly.
I do think it was poetic Dwight ending up the manager at the last episode. I feel like that's how the show should have ended, with him.
See, I think if you annex the entire last season, keep the last 3 episodes, it'd be perfect.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
But the whole, like, the British woman coming in, I didn't like her.
Oh, I hated her.
They're bringing all these, and the whole Andy and,
Aaron,
yeah, sorry. My brain froze because...
the whole Andy and, Aaron.
Yeah! I kept saying Ellie Kemper in my brain, which is her actress name, and I'm like, what is her name?
Yeah,
that whole thing went down poorly.
She's probably one of the worst characters in the show. She literally serves zero purpose than to be someone's girlfriend. Prove me I'm wrong.
Yeah, she doesn't have her own, like, standalone thing. Like, Pam has her own thing outside of Jim. I agree.
Erin is awful. She was a device, which is bad. Respect women. Respect women more. Respect women. Okay, now we're getting to 2 and 1.
Officially respects women.
2 and 1. Yeah, we respect women. I got a women on my show.
The whammon.
I got a whammon on our show. That's how much I respect whammon. All right.
I'm Sib. I'm the first name. That's how much we respect women.
Whammon. Number 2 and 1 for me are like they're from my if you don't count anime. Actually, if you're counting my favorite shows, they're 2 and 3. Because One Piece is 1, and this would be 2 and 3.
I bet I know what your number 2 is.
I bet you do. Are you ready?
Can I get... Okay, hold on. Before we turn it, can I guess it?
When
you don't know mine, I don't think.
When your camera is not lagging so much. Yours is from Parks and Rec.
It is! Oh, you are good. Yours is from Scrubs. Right?
Okay.
I can't see your face, so I can't tell what you're saying.
My number 2 is not from Scrubs.
It's from New Girl, then.
Okay.
Your number 1 is from Scrubs.
What? Who's my number 2? Are you were just guessing? You were just guessing the show, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, bam.
I knew it was Schmidt.
I was trying to keep it. Jess Schmidt is not my favorite character. I was lying. Schmidt.
I know you said that when you were saying Jess was your favorite character. I was like, you are so full of shit.
Schmidt is such a freaking mood. Like,
he is hilarious.
Schmidt. I love the episode where she's like, Are you like offended that your girlfriend was with a woman? What? Are you kidding me? No, I'm practically a woman myself. So he goes,
My
Schmidt,
favorite
I
line
need
of
something
his.
to do at the park. What can I do?
Oh my!
Suicide?
That's literally what I was about to say.
That is.
When I just said, you know what my favorite Schmidt line is, that was what I was about to say.
I gotta say, of any character in fiction, Schmidt might be the funniest. Literally.
I almost agree with you. His
writing is so good. It's
so funny.
Yeah.
And he just delivers the way he enunciates things is just priceless.
Oh man. Daddy, what was it? There's a white man. A white man?
Man, no. What did the police do about it? Nothing. Typical.
New Girl. So if you're a man out there and you like sitcoms and you've not watched New Girl because you think it'll be girly, it is literally more manly than it is girly.
It is the funniest show.
It is literally the funniest show.
Sitcom. Every single episode makes me laugh out loud.
Winston, why do you have a milk bowl for all of us? Trying out an experiment. Literally, it's so good because honorable mentions are all of my honorable mentions are from New Girl. Because every character in that show is so funny, but so Schmidt is on his own level because he's heartfelt. The douche jar is so funny. He is heartfelt because literally his wedding scene. Does he mess up?
So sweet.
My least favorite with Schmidt part's when he cheats on those women. But I mean, that is a very real moment.
I feel like that was a blip in the show. Like, well, was out of character.
It's very realistic almost. You know what I mean? Because it really fits in line with how Schmidt was at the beginning of the show. And it shows that final struggle push to get out of being like that. So one last big mess up. It's very real. Like, you know what I mean?
That's a good point. It's
very real.
That's a good point.
So it sucks, and I am like, Schmidt, pick Cece. What are you doing? She is literally a goddess. Like, what are you doing? But
it's so one of my favorite scenes is when they go to pick Jess and Nick up in Mexico, and they find out Winston's colorblind, and he's talking about his green shoes, and he goes, "Winston, if you think those shoes are green, what color do you think you are?"
I gotta watch this show tonight. Oh my god, it's
I watch
so
it.
good.
I think I've watched New Girl 7 times.
It's so good.
I'll finish it and then I just restart it because it's my comfort show. It's what I watch every time I'm sad.
It is so funny.
So funny.
Schmidt is awesome. Okay, well,
ladies love Schmidt.
Who is your person? I don't know who that is.
Ben Wyatt. He doesn't come into the show until the 3rd season, and Parks and Rec is another one of those shows that I could have literally picked any character because the strongest part about Parks and Rec is their characters. Like, they're all so lovable. They're all so 3-dimensional. Like, they're not very stereotypical like some characters in The Office sometimes I feel like can be too 1-dimensional. Ben he's one of those other ones kind of like Amy that's kind of a stickler for the rules, but he is also the biggest dork. Like, they do a treat yourself day and they're trying to get him to loosen up and he doesn't want to. And then he buys $1,000 Batman suit and he just walks around and he's like, "I'm Batman."
Isn't he the one that gets with the main character?
Yes, he's the one who ends up, spoiler alert, with Leslie. And he's he's also just so sweet. Like, the scene where he proposes is brings tears to your eyes, and he's just, I love him so much. I have the biggest crush on Ben Wyatt. Like, he's just so wonderful. Every lady needs a Ben Wyatt because he's sweet. He's hilarious. There's this part where he loses his job and he goes crazy and he starts making claymation videos. And he has this little crazy looking doll he made and he's like, "Would a crazy person make this?" And his best friend's like,
"Yes.
Buddy, you need to leave the house."
I've not watched Parks and Rec. I think you've watched every show on my list at least a little bit. But I've watched half the first season of Parks and Rec and thought it was so slow and so boring.
You got it. And that's the thing is I started the first season and stopped it at episode 4 because I didn't like it. And it's literally I had to get to the next episode. So once you get past the first season, that's 6 episodes where they don't really know what they're doing. It's perfect. It's if you didn't have that first season, it would literally be the perfect show.
Oh man.
It's so good. I love it so much. It would be my favorite if New Girl didn't make me laugh as much as it does.
Oh, I knew New Girl would be on the top of your list. You're going to have Winston, or I don't know who you're going to have, Nick or Winston. We'll see. I don't know. I can't comment too much on that. I have not watched the show. All I know is Ben Schwartz is in it in a little bit, which is a very big plus to me.
See, your favorite character would actually be Ben Wyatt's best friend.
Oh, yeah?
That's played by Rob Lowe. You will love him. He's hilarious too.
Okay, maybe
he's one of those people that's super like optimistic and pessimistic. Like he just smiles and he's like, I am falling into a bottomless pit of despair.
Yeah, that's me. All right. A few things before we get to number one. Honorable mentions. My honorable mentions are all almost from New Girl. Nick, Winston, both are perfect. Cece is literally hilarious. Coach, very underrated character. Coach. Yeah, when he comes in, it is. I love it. He's so funny, vulnerable, tough guy. The act is so good. All the characters from New Girl are my honorable mentions. I only had to. This list would be flooded with them almost if I didn't have to limit myself.
See, that's the thing. If we didn't make the rule that we could only have one per show, my whole list would have been New Girl characters.
Yeah, they're so good. A lot from the other show that's number one, but I'm not going to list them because it'll narrow down what my number one is. If I could have picked main characters, JD from Scrubs would have easily. Probably, he's not my favorite, but he's like objectively perfect for a main. He is the perfect main character because he is so stupid and frustrating to follow sometimes,
but so endearing.
So endearing. Like I have a serious attachment to that show. I love it. Yeah. That's it. What about your honorable mentions?
Some of mine were Carlton from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Love The Fresh Prince. Okay. The janitor from Scrubs. And
I love the janitor.
I know. The janitor cracks me up. And I have him written down and I'm trying to find it. Dwight was... Well, no, not Dwight. But like I was trying to list Office characters and I had Dwight and Jim. And then I decided I didn't want to do the Office characters. And also,
I didn't want to be
Janice from Friends. She was an honorable mention.
Dude, it sucks not being able to pick any of the Friends.
I know, because Chandler would have been like in my top three.
I wanted to pick. I don't know who I would have picked, Chandler or Joey. I love them both.
If we could have picked Friends,
Monica.
I
love Monica, honestly.
I do love Monica. She's my favorite girl.
I don't know. Well, before number one, where can they find you if they want to follow you and get more of your awful takes? Like.
So if you would like to listen to my awful ramblings of my very correct takes, I'm on Twitter at Maple Syrup, spelled SURUP_, and that is also my Instagram handle. I am on TikTok as Sarah, spelled like my name, Tonin Deficiency. And I think that's all the places.
You really need to pick one.
I know.
You really need to pick one.
And on Discord, I am Suriname. So I can't... See, I love them all for different reasons.
Suriname is the best one.
I think Suriname should be my handle. But I've had maple syrup for so long that I'm attached to it.
This is Suriname. You can find me on Twitch right here at Soloist TV. Find me at Twitter, Solos_TV. Find me at TikTok, Solos TV. Find me on YouTube at Soloist. Find me also on YouTube at Soloist VODs, where you can catch my VODs from my live streams that I need to start uploading. Starting a new Let's Play channel, I will announce later. I have not yet officially gotten that off the road yet. You can follow the show on YouTube at Sibling Gibberish. I also have another podcast called Highwind Herald covering everything Final Fantasy. Find that on where you get your podcasts and YouTube as well, Highwind Herald. And you can
also follow the show on Twitter at Sibling Gibberish with 1G because Twitter's stupid and would only let me have certain characters. And Instagram at Sibling Gibberish.
Yeah. So we're everywhere.
And TikTok now at Soloist TV.
We are everywhere. We are absolutely everywhere. We're
in your face and you don't even want it. But we're there, baby.
It is time to reveal our number one.
And I know you're number one.
It was I don't know if you do.
I think I do.
I don't know. But as soon as we came up with this topic, this was the first thing I was like, oh, he's number one, of course.
Okay. Can I really want to guess.
All right.
You get one guess. Okay. You get one guess for me. What is it?
Okay. Winston.
It's Winston.
All right. Go ahead and guess.
Is yours Hooch?
Why would mine be Hooch?
I thought you loved Hooch. Is it the janitor?
Sarah, Hooch is in like 3 episodes.
But Hooch is crazy.
Hooch is crazy. But
you say that all the time.
Hooch is crazy.
Hooch is crazy.
No,
is it the janitor?
It's not the janitor. Think seriously.
Mr. Cox or Dr. Cox?
There you go.
Yeah.
Mr. Cox. It's a school to hospital.
Mr. Cox.
Dr. Cox is the best written character in all of sitcoms. Because
you know what's funny? When I was thinking about lists like this, for some reason his wife popped into my head.
Oh yeah, like she's awesome. But Dr. Cox is literally, I love his relationship with JD. Because all JD, like JD's entire character arc is making Dr. Cox like him. Any shred of moments where Dr. Cox shows like emotion, it's so when you see him tear up, you tear up. The episode where Laverne, spoiler alert, died, and he got hit hard because he was like bashing her religion. Literally the same episode, and she died in that episode. He was speechless. Like, he could not move or say anything. He was just so guilty for being like that on the last day she was on Earth. Yeah. And he is so... I get goosebumps.
I'll tell you when he broke my heart, spoiler alert, is, and I don't remember the character's name, but it's Brendan Fraser.
Don't. Oh, my God.
Yeah, that whole thing broke my heart.
I hated that.
Yeah.
Because I think that was very close to the same episode where he was just like preaching to JD how you can't get attached. Yeah. And he went and got... That show is seriously...
That show's so good. I haven't watched it in so long.
Freaking good. It's kind of old. It's like early 2000s, mid 2000s start date. Ignore season 9. If you watch this show, watch seasons 1 through 8. They tried to continue it with season 9 with kind of new characters, a few old characters. They ended the show and brought it back. Don't quit doing that, people.
I know, that's what I don't understand. It's like, don't fix what's broken. Like, I so appreciate when a show knows when its time is up and gives the viewers like a really good ending.
And because of all shows I've ever watched, Scrubs has the best final episode. When JD is walking out, JD is walking out of the hallway for the last time. He's seeing and he walks down that hallway and sees everybody who's died in the series. And that's when you get Hooch in the straitjacket at the end going, Hooch is crazy.
See, I thought you were going to give me a sleeper pick with Hooch. I was about to laugh.
No. And then he gets outside, and you saw all the memories, and it's like flashes. His future. It like goes through a future role where he marries Elliot. He gets a hug from Dr. Cox. His daughter gets engaged with Turk's son, and they freak out. And they have this. It's kind of like New Girl's ending. They have this big moment, and then he's enjoying this, staring at this like projector showing it, and then a janitor guy, not the janitor, comes up and tears down like the thing he was staring at, and goes, "Have a good night." And goes, "Have a good night," and he walks off, and it just plays the theme song. I get goosebumps. It is so good. It is the best ending in show history. Yeah, it's better. Listen, New Girl's ending is good.
I love New Girl
because it's perfect for New Girl. But in terms of gut, like getting into your gut and tearing it out and making you feel nostalgia, nothing beats Scrubs.
Yeah, that one definitely does a good job of making you remember the whole show. It's almost reflective. Like you're nostalgic at the end for the whole show.
Yes.
And you're reflecting on everything that's happened.
It is absolutely.
It is really good. I need to watch it again because it's been like several years since I've watched it all.
I cannot understate, and Dr. Cox is the best part of the show because he is like the antagonist for everybody, and he acts like he hates everybody. Well, he's kind of like Snape from Harry Potter.
I think he's better than Snape.
He's definitely better than Snape.
Snape is a dickhead.
But Snape also like ultimately cared about everybody and had very good motivations ultimately. Kind of like Dr. Cox. He's not like Dr. Kelso, who's just a dick because he thinks it's funny.
I forgot about Kelso.
Yeah, he's great too. There's not a single bad character in that show. Ted, may he rest in peace, his actor. He's great because every character in that show is so pitiful.
Yeah,
and it is my favorite. I mean, obviously, One Piece is better than anything I've ever seen or consumed. But as far as sitcoms go, it is hands down the best in my opinion. So I'm done gushing. Let's talk about Winston because I definitely love Winston as well. You have a pop figure of Winston.
Pop figure. I love Winston. He is like, so Nick Miller was close because I I just want to marry Nick Miller so bad. I love him so much. But Winston is just like classically funny without being mean. You know what I mean? Like Winston, or not Winston, but Schmidt and Nick like are hilarious. But Winston is just stupid. Like half of the stuff he does isn't even him trying to be funny. And I think that's why I like him so much, is because it's not like he like has a dig at somebody and that's why it's funny. He genuinely is just being himself, and being himself is hilarious.
He made that last episode.
The last episode is perfect because of him.
He made it. That was such a dick move. And everyone, when Nick ran off and just went, ah! And then came back like, all right, let's go.
He's like, all right, let's go.
Let's go.
And like, just the stupid little gags. Like the fact that he's colorblind and that like when he gets the color glasses and he looks at all his shirts and he goes, this looks ridiculous.
I love how the episode where that girl cheated on him, he went from, I'm going to kill her cat, to being like, I'm gonna keep the cat, and it's like the new roommate.
And that's his whole personality.
That's his whole personality. How am I gonna kill this cat? So he is off the wall, man. And he has.
And I love when he tries to set the cat up on a date, and like the woman's cat thinks that they're gonna sleep together, and he's just like watching them, and he's like, "Do you think she's having fun?" And she's like, but one of my favorite scenes is when he's doing a puzzle and he's so bad at them and like half of the pieces are turned over and he's like, I wonder what it's gonna look like. And Schmidt's like, what do you mean? It's on the box. The picture's on the box.
He's so bad at puzzles. I love how he's like, he has no in between pranks. He's like, let's put a feather in their shoe. Where he's like, let's make him fall off a building. It's like, Winston. I would be such good friends with Winston in real life.
I was thinking about what New Girl character I relate to the most, and I really think I relate to Winston the most.
I would probably relate.
My cats are my entire personality.
I probably relate to Nick the most.
I think you do too.
I think we're very similar in a lot of ways.
You're very similar.
Just
Winston's humor is just, and he's just so sweet. Like he's an idiot, and that's why he's funny. But like he would literally do anything for any of the friends.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Him and Allie's relationship is just so
sweet.
Yeah.
Dude, Allie is awesome. But that's like,
and my favorite friendship I think is slept on is Winston and Cece.
What do you mean it's slept on? They got Winston and Cece mess arounds.
I know, but I feel like anytime I watch anything New Girl related,
I love the last episode where they're like, girl. It's like, oh my god, that show is so stupid. That's why I said
one-liners.
That's why I said it's so close. I do think New Girl makes me laugh more than Scrubs, but Scrubs does everything else better. Like it is so much more heart-wrenching. Mm-hmm. It is so much more relatable, and it's so much more like the characters are just more lovable. But the characters in New Girl are just it is literally a funny as shit. Mm-hmm. Every character in that show has made me like pee myself laughing.
And the only person I've ever met that doesn't like it is our older brother.
But he also barely watched it.
I know, but I've never met any other person that I'm like, you should watch New Girl, that doesn't absolutely love it.
It is awesome. Dude, this is a good topic, but this is kind of like, we didn't fight at all. I don't think you picked anything bad. We didn't fight this time. No, I respect all of your picks. Even Sean. Sean was the one I was like, she's going to think this is weird. But I do really like Good Place. I do think you should have picked
Janet. If you're going to pick a Good Place
Janet's a main character.
I think you're stretching the main character thing too much.
I probably was, but I didn't for all. I think that's the only one I did that for.
Because the Good Place, I really think Eleanor's the only one.
If I had confined it. See, I don't think Eleanor's the only one. I think the old guy is just as important as Eleanor. I really do, because him and her are in the center of every promo for it.
That's true.
Because he's probably my favorite character. He's so lovable.
Yeah, I do love him.
He's so lovable.
I do love him.
This is making me want to go and watch every show I've talked about, except for How I Met Your Mother.
It makes me want to watch Boy Meets World.
It makes me want to watch.
After I started watching clips, I was like, I want to watch Boy Meets World.
Every show we've talked about, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna rewatch that show like tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And then I got to New Girl, I was like, I'm definitely rewatching this. I got to Scrubs, I was like, I've got to rewatch this. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm probably gonna watch One Piece.
What is Scrubs on?
Hulu.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, Hulu. But yeah, I love sitcoms. There was a period before I got into anime really big where it's all I watched. Because I liked binge watching stuff, and I liked watching stuff that made me feel emotion and also made me laugh. Like, that's why I like, if shows are just all cool, I'm like, I mean, anime works a lot because even when they're awesome, badass animes,
goofy.
It's still Japanese, and they're like, "Hey, boobas," and then it's like, "Baka, boobas." It's cool. That's why I like sitcoms a lot. Is because one episode in Scrubs, a staple character dies, and everyone's going to the funeral and is literally crying, and you're crying. And the next episode, like, I don't know, JD's like living in a tent on property he bought, and he gets like his sandwich stolen by a squirrel or something. I don't remember how it goes. It's like, it's so all over the place. And like New Girl, Cece's heartbroken because Schmidt's cheating on him. Next episode, Winston is setting his cat up on a date with another cat. Like, that's why
so all over the place. Yeah,
and you would hate
sitcoms.
That's
a good point, though.
Yeah, as anime,
about like shows, like the similarities between anime and sitcoms. Like, they have the serious mix with the comedy.
But the difference is that the comedy's mixed into animes through mainline arcs that are connected every episode, which, like, you would think anime fans, when you get filler, you're like, this is stupid, it's not important. I mean, like, kind of every episode in a sitcom almost is filler, except for, like, the one or two a season that is like, remember that guy from last season? But it works, because you don't watch, I mean, there's always overarching stories, but it's like, what kind of shenanigans are they going to get into this episode? Like, it's awesome.
Well, it's also different styles for different kinds of watchers. Like, anime watchers want to binge. So they want to watch 5-6 episodes in a row. So they like the overarching thing. Whereas sitcoms, I feel like you watch one, maybe two, and you could walk away, and you don't really feel like you have to watch the next one.
I'm just a binge. I binge everything.
I'm less a binger the older I get. I think it's because I'd rather sleep.
One Piece killed me on that. It killed me. I love binging. I literally got ass sores watching that show. Sitting in that chair for so long. I literally did nothing but sit in that chair and eat oranges.
Wow, oranges.
It was 3 a.m. I didn't want to go to Speedway. All I had was cutie oranges, the little small ones. And I ate like 12.
You know those aren't healthy anymore after you eat like 12.
I wasn't eating it because it was healthy. I was eating because it was all there was.
I was starving.
That was good. We did agree on our next topic. So next week we are going. So we kind of are easing into it. We did a topical thing with breakfast. We did kind of a thing more people could get in on, sitcom intros. We are introducing ourselves to you guys next episode. Full on weeb, top 5 anime intros. It's happening. Next week,
I'm so excited.
It's gonna be big.
It's gonna be nerdy.
I don't have any more discussion on this. I respect your list.
Thank you. I respect your list.
It could have used
This is the most civil we will ever be.
Definitely. It needs some more Scrubs. You should watch Scrubs.
It was an honorable mention.
But you also haven't watched it in a long time.
I think if I had watched it more recently, I would have made it.
I think, because you had the janitor on there. The janitor is funny.
I fucking love
it. But he lacks that, like, emotional connection everyone else has.
But I think if I had to pick another one, it'd be Turk.
Turk was very close for me. Turk was one of my honorable mentions. But I didn't include him because then you'd be like, oh, then it's Dr. Cox, I thought. But Dr. Cox was your third guess. Freaking Hooch was going to be number one. Hooch is crazy, Sarah. I can't pick Hooch.
Hooch is crazy.
Hooch is crazy. But hey. But hey. It is what it is. It is what it is. All right, guys. That is it for the second episode of Sib Jib. Hang on a minute. My audio file got closed somehow. Everybody.
Oh, shit. You're so unprofessional.
Hello. Oh. Oopie doopie. Everybody.
No one's going to take us seriously if we don't have our audio file.
I'm Jib.
I'm Sib.
And this has been Sib Jib. Thank you for watching. If you like what you see, sub to everything. And I'm going to be gone till next week. Any final words?
Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.